Hey guys, I'm back again. It's Kyle King, your course instructor, and welcome to course number 1. When we're talking about budgeting, we wanted to just jump in. We're talking about the money, the money, money. So what I want you to do is get your pen, get your pad, and get ready to take some notes. I wanted to make this video as personable and as engaging and hopefully as interactive as possible so that you can learn something and then you can begin to apply it in your life. So before we get started, I want you to shift your mind, right? Are you rich? I want you to raise your hand if you're rich. And if your hand is still on the ground, I'm going to describe and define what I mean by rich. Because there's 4 types of being rich, right? There's credit rich. You have great credit. You can be able to access capital. You can get a house. You can get a credit card. You can access money, essentially, to put towards revenue or a business or all these different things. Or you could just access credit like I did years ago to buy up a lot of clothes, right? But that's not adulting like a pro. That's not adulting like a pro, I promise. Or you can be cash rich. You can have a lot of cash on hand. You may have $40,000, $50,000 in your bank account, $10,000 in your bank account. And if that's you, then I was like that as well at one point, and I spent through it. And that's not adulting like a pro either, I promise. And we'll talk about that later. And then you could be asset rich. You could own property. You can earn insurance policies. You can own specific assets that you could be able to sell, like gold or jewelry or all these different things, right? So if you're credit rich, raise your hand. Still not yet? If you're cash rich, raise your hand. Not yet? If you're asset rich, raise your hand. Not yet? Oh my God. So the fourth thing is rich and ambition. The ability, write this down, the ability to think further or think forward and not think about where you are. Because you've already identified that you're not one of those 3. Or maybe you're one of those 3 or 2 of those 3, but you're not all of those 3. And the beautiful thing about it, guys, is if you think about rich people, wealthy people, they're all of those 3. They have powerful credit. They have access to capital. They have cash on hand. And they have assets that their money is making money for them. It's not about you just going to work and then what you get paid, you go and buy something. No. You know what's a lot cooler? You having money that is allowing you to buy something. The money's making money for you. So my money is making money for you, and that's what I'm spending the money with instead of the money that you work so hard for. So I want you to get into this mindset that you are already rich. You are already rich in ambition because you're watching this course. You want more in your life, but how we focus on having all of this amazingness is about building some type of foundation, literally on ground zero. And not ground zero like we all know, but literally the ground, right? So how we start is how do you build a financial foundation? And just to say this, I'm not a financial literacy expert. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is something that has really helped me in my life, adult like a pro, increase my revenue, and be able to be in a better predicament in my life. So I want you to look at 2 things: your variable expenses and your fixed expenses. 2 things. Look at your budgets, look at your bank statements. I want you to pull your last 3 months bank statements. And then I want you to pull them or download them or export them into an Excel spreadsheet. I need you to create some type of list where it's all of your variable expenses and all of your fixed expenses. And what are your variable or fixed expenses? Your fixed expenses are usually the things that won't change. There's not much of a fluctuation there. Your car note, your rent, your phone bill, your gas bill, all of those different things that are consistent every single month. Your variable expenses could be like haircuts or date night or groceries or all of these different things that there's a lot of fluctuation. The fixed expenses are the things that are coming out every single month because you got to live, right? The variable expenses are the things that you kind of could go without. You could be a little rough. It's been COVID time, so you could be a little rough, but the reality of it is those fixed expenses are the very important things. So I want you to look at those. I want your life to be focused on decreasing so you can increase. Decrease so that you can increase. So 7, 10, 10, 10, 70, 10, 10, 10. You have to live off 70% of your revenue. Try to live off of 70% of what you get paid. 30% of what you get paid. 10% goes to investment capital. Investment capital, write it down, I'm gonna give you a second. 10% then goes to savings accounts, and then 10% goes to investments. Okay? You ready? Okay, so 10% goes to savings, the other 10% goes to investing, and then 10% goes to investment capital. So, what investment capital is and versus investing, you're probably asking, like, what is the difference? He said kind of the same thing. Investment capital is the money, the access to capital that you can invest in something that can then make you money short term. Whereas investing is more so for that long-term perspective. Let's say you have money in the stock market. That would be that 10% on investing, or that real estate project. That could be that 10% of investing. But let's say you're a photographer or a videographer, and you save 10% of your check every single Friday or every single month because you want to get a new camera, or you want to get a backdrop, or you want to get more lighting, or you want to get different things that can make you money in the short term. That's what the investment capital would be. So let's say you get $1,000 today. $1,000. 70% is going to what? Yes, you're living. 10% is going to what? Yes, investment capital. 10% is going to what? Yes, your savings. And then 10%, what's the last 10%? Investing. Good, so you're with me. Okay, so the next thing is to understand one concept. And I'm going to keep it short and brief because this is what this is all about. I want you to get as much as you can in a short period of time. So the last perspective is perspective, right? So I want you to understand what you want versus what you need, okay? There's a difference between how I have it written here is aspirations versus realities. And I was one of those people that had all these aspirations to buy nice things, drive nice cars, and do all these different things. And I was out here riding the wave until the repo man came and got my car one night. And I was trying to keep up with everybody, and I was trying to do all these different things. And you'll literally, if you're trying to ride the wave and get Gucci and get H&M and get all these different things instead of thrifting, because you know you only got $30 in your account and you haven't paid your phone bill yet, literally they will cut your phone off. Literally, they will come get your car. Literally, they will come get that furniture that you have in your house that's literally a loan that you didn't pay for. So all of these different things, guys, that's not adulting like a pro. Adulting like a pro is all about being responsible. And while we started with finances, 9 out of 10 people are having financial problems. They're not managing their money. And it's not about you making more money. Because yes, we can talk about that. It's about how much money are you saving. Because I know people that make millions that have nothing, and people that make $30,000, $40,000 off a teacher salary and have investment properties. So guys, I need you to adult like a pro. I need you to understand the difference between your variables and your fixed expenses. And once you do, operate out of a 70-10-10-10 model and understand your aspirations versus your realities. Look, I don't even have the aspirations anymore because it was one big reality when the repo man came and got me, right? But now we're at a position where I learned how to adult like a pro, and I'm in a better position. So if you want to be in a better position, you have to practice, because practice makes what? Perfect, and then you could become a pro athlete. It's all about the practice. It's all about really what happens behind the backdrop so that you can get in front of the backdrop, right? So that's what I want you guys to be able to do. So adult like a pro. It starts with your finances, and it starts with not understanding or not doing what your aspirations are telling you to do, but really operating in a place of like, what can I actually do? So let's focus on actuals and not on aspirations. I'll see you next lesson.